I have always played a variety of different video games, always looking for new, interesting ideas that potentially push things in new directions, and I've also had fun discovering some hidden gems along the way. I've also always enjoyed talking about these kind of things. So, hello friends and strangers, I'm Neptune and I welcome you to me just talking about games I really like. And although my preferences mostly consists of card games, Souls-likes and the one or the other gacha game, it also includes some very unique or just not well-known games. The Void Rains Upon Our Heart is a bullet hell shoot-'em-up boss rush roguelike and also includes a lesbian alien dating/friendship simulator. That's a lot of stuff all at once, so let's break it down. Upon starting a new run, you select a character and a range of difficulty. That will make a bit more sense later, and we're already choosing the first monster to quote-unquote fight. In battle, the player character on the left automatically shoots bullets of love and affection to reduce the monster's fear. What you have to do yourself is of course dodging the onslaught of bullets that are fired at you and also here and there move into the right position so that your shots actually hit. To help with maneuverability, you can also enter focus mode for more slower and precise movement. Another thing you can do is charge attacks, which are more efficient at breaking monster parts, both helpful at getting a higher score as well as stopping the monster from shooting additional bullets. And of course this is a bullet hell, so there is a bomb type effect that nullifies all bullets around you. In these games they are called panic attacks. That's all the basics of combat. That's all quite simple. And I'm not gonna talk about exact control schemes here, because they are pretty much very customizable as well as a lot of the UI elements. There's a lot of accessibility options in here. Now, after showing love to a monster, aka winning a fight, you receive gifts, aka power-ups, of varying types. But that's not all. You also receive karma based on monster level and extra feats you achieved during the fight. Like accomplishing a full combo, meaning you didn't get hit and stayed on target for the full fight, never missing your shots for longer than a few moments. Overall, the better the performance, the more karma you get. Now, what does it do? Karma adjusts the dynamic difficulty. It affects how many monsters you can choose from, how many gifts they offer and their quality, but it also increases the monster level and therefore the frequency and speed of how much bullets they rain upon you. While this means the game gets harder the better you do, it also means you can, at least try to, keep the difficulty you're currently on by, for example, just missing on purpose to break your combo. In other words, this game is as hard as you make it. Not because of some self-inflicted challenge, but instead of already present game mechanics. Of course, this also then means that if you want to and have the dedication, you can go all the way and fight overleveled monsters that fire so many things at you that they can't even decipher the screen anymore. To each their own. The last thing you receive after battle are tetrades. These are mostly used for upgrading events or to radiate events, monsters, gifts, etc., which unlocks their codex entries so you can read up on additional information and lore. Meta progress mostly exists in the form of information, options and events, not really in the form of making your characters stronger. These events are the, at the start mentioned, lesbian alien friendship sim, consisting of mini-games where you go on a walk, make soup, or play an entire RPG dungeon crawler. Real progress in the game is made by unlocking new monsters, gifts and events through achievements. And by God are there many achievements. ranging from do this thing this many times, overdoing a certain boss fight nearly perfect with some extra stuff, to incredibly specific things that make you question how. And I haven't even mentioned the different game modes. There is so much content in this game, and it's not even finished. It is still in early access. However, the game has a clear vision and delivers on it. It might look quite simple and straightforward. It is pretty much exactly what it looks like, but there is still a surprising amount of nuance between runs, mostly based on the monsters you actually choose to fight and the events that they lead to, and which different gifts you obtain. The monsters also all have their endearing quirks, and the interactions with them are full of charm and eyeball puns. On top of that, the soundtrack really sells the atmosphere. It all just fits together quite nicely. Now, the bullet hell gameplay might be not for everyone. And I'm gonna say, as someone who really struggles with spatial awareness and judging distances, this game looks like something that should frustrate me to no end. But it actually doesn't. Thanks to the dynamic difficulty adjusting things gradually as you go, it's easier to get into than it looks like. With all the game modes and achievements, there's always something to do, and all of it is a great time. Potentially also because this is just different or unique enough compared to the other games that I play, that it just works as kind of a palate cleanser in between. I could go on and on about all the different systems, but the game does a pretty good job of introducing things bit by bit, and I honestly think most of it is experienced better that way. The final thing that I want to mention is that this is not just a great game to play for fun. It also does have a message that I think is quite important. You might have already guessed from some of the vocabulary used, like monsters don't have a health but they have a fear bar, and we shoot them with love bullets. This game does delve into some deeper and darker topics. Now, I'm not gonna talk about those. I just want to mention the thing that it represents. Just as all the monsters in this game have their flaws and problems, the same can be said about humans. But that doesn't mean that we're undeserving of love. Only recently I've came to know a group of people that made me realize that this is something that is not said often enough in our society nowadays. We're all in this together, quite literally. We have to work with other people in our workplace, we meet other people at home. And life could be just much better with a little bit of kindness. Not just for others, but also for ourselves. So if you take anything with you from this game, maybe just take a bit of positivity to heart. Well, this was a bit of a different video than what I normally do, but I really wanted to talk about this game for a long time. And as I said, with a recent group of people, you know who you are. This game came back to the forefront of my thoughts, and I decided it is finally time to just make a video about it. So, if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment, consider subscribing if you want to see more. If you just want to hear me ramble about games I like, I'm gonna do more videos like this. Maybe not super often, but from time to time, there is always gonna be something to talk about. And as always, have a nice day. Bye bye. Soup, ba-da-ba-da-ba. It's extra speed, and she's an eyeball.